Guys, I'd like to welcome you to Dean's Den, and today we have Andrew with us as our guest.
Hey everybody.
Today we're going to be talking about the detailing business as a whole and all the different things that we ran into.
How I ended up knowing Dean was I actually reached out to him and pretty much asked him to be my mentor. I didn't know him at the time, I just reached out to him. How I found him was I looked up detailing in our area. I found that he had a YouTube channel, and then I saw like a few videos he did and what it was all about. That's how I ended up there. Knowing that there's a good chance that we're going to be on the same wavelength, because I can already see the type of work he's doing on YouTube, like the type of quality and type of time he's taking to do each thing. So that's kind of where it would build into my point. Was the few biggest qualities I would say that really make a detailer what they are going to be quality of work. So how in depth are you doing? Are you doing like a quick over package? Like, are you more worried about quantity, or are you more worried about quality? And the second thing is going to be customer service. That's a big thing where you have to have the customer's thoughts and concerns on the top of your priority. Go above and beyond type thing, and really keep them happy and really care what they're saying. It's like when I started detail, the first thing I asked when they dropped the car for one of them is there any spots in the car that bother you, or anything that bothers you the most, or any concerns? Or to sum it up, I really think it's going to be quality, what you're doing. Like if you're focused on quality, you're doing high output quality, then it's going to be customer service and like really listening to your customers.
As far as packages go, which one has been the biggest moneymaker for you so far?
Biggest money maker per hour is obviously going to be ceramic. Paint corrections with the ceramic, but like most that I do is going to be interiors. But money is going to be obviously ceramic, and doing it right too. That's the important part, is doing with a high quality ceramic that you can stand behind and you're good at what you're doing, and that's how you're going to make a lot of money with ceramic. But in terms of what I do the most of, it's going to be interiors right now.
Are you happy with the product that you're using?
I'm using SB3 now. I changed over. Why I changed
Okay.
why I changed over is going to be ease of use. Something that really made a difference to me is SB3 had more products that really spoke to me. It's like, for example, they have a ceramic that's a 1 year. Ceramic Pro really didn't have that. So like if a customer only wants to spend a lower amount, like what I charge for the 1 year is $350 starting, versus let's say like 700, there's a big difference there. So they just want to try ceramic, see what it is. They can get a 1 year coating. Versus I found with Ceramic Pro that really wasn't an option. So it was kind of like an all or nothing type thing. So that's why, yeah. And then the quality of product is good, and that is important too. So I tested it out before I obviously offered it to my customers. It's good
Yeah, it's
quality,
always
and
good to have
they
variety.
stand behind their products, which is nice.
Yeah, it's always good to have a lot of variety because I find like some of my customers, they lean towards one product over another. And for the most part, like I'd say most of the products that are out there now are really good quality because the competition is so fierce. I noticed like with the different products I've been using, the angel wax ceramics seem to just knock it right out of the park. Like as far as Joe, I'm just amazed at how well it works. But I haven't used every ceramic, that's out there. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like you find different products that tend to work for you, and you stick with them.
Yeah, and it all depends what you like. Like for example, I like whatever. Like one thing that really resonates with me is high quality products and a company that will stand behind them. So I know that no matter what happens, my customers are in a good spot if something went sideways. I wasn't expected. But yeah, it
Yeah.
all depends what you can do efficiently, and what fits with you, what you like to install, what company, like personal relationships you have with the reps, or that all adds to it too.
Like you and I worked together for, I think it was a year before you
Yeah,
went on your own. And
yeah,
the one thing that we'll both agree on is 100%, more important than anything else when you're surrounding. Because if you don't prep it properly, it doesn't matter how nice a job putting the coating on there. It's a waste of time.
yeah. So, and that's, yeah, it's very important. That's why I would say ceramic is one of the most expensive things you can do in detailing for a customer is it's the prep time. It's not really the installation. So yeah, you
Yeah.
have to make sure you're installing it right, deconning the panels, polishing them, making sure it's a good surface for the ceramic to bond to. You can't just put it on a dirty car and hope for the best.
Yeah, because when I was training you, I tried my hardest to train you with all the things that I had run into so that you could avoid them.
Hmm.
But I can't, with any teacher, you can't cover everything. So I mean, what were some of the things that you ran into that we hadn't covered? So you get to throw me under the bus here.
um, I would say they're more ceramic related. Like when I was with Ceramic Pro, it's a harder ceramic to install. I would say it would be, and I think you experienced it with Angel Wax too. Was just different tricks on how to manipulate the coating and get a good outputs. Like a good example would be when I'm putting the ceramic on, I use three towels, one to level it, the second one to really like miss anything the first one did, and the third one just to pick up anything the second one, any high spots that are left. So the three towels. With
Yeah,
Ceramic Pro, what would happen is the coating would flash so fast, you'd have to have your middle towel, it would have to be damp to really reactivate the ceramic and then be able to get it all off. So that was something that I stressed out with the first time, or even like a rim coating, for example, it would cure too fast on black rims and you'd see streaks or but something else that wouldn't be ceramic related that I've ran into. A
is there
big
anything
thing
in the
and
interior you've run into?
nothing crazy, like maybe using a too aggressive of like an APC or something and it leaves the panels a little
Okay.
white, like you'll see streaks. Um,
Okay.
a big thing that I've experienced, like being in a different shop than yours, and it's something that you just didn't run into, and I had it too, but I was just lucky I had it, was when a car dies, making sure you have a jumper.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. And that's something we really didn't run into because for the most part, we were only really doing details in like the warm months. So you don't have as much dead batteries. But I mean, like I've already used mine, I think 5 times just in this year
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. I know you can't see what's going on at this end, but the puppy came to visit me, so here I am doing my podcast, and I'm holding a puppy. So
Yeah.
just putting that out there.
That's funny.
So yeah, once I put it up on, but also get to see Lola here, and maybe I'll get a few clicks just because of her.
Yeah, the dog.
Anyways, yeah. You know what? The one thing I'm going to say is the reason I like doing the podcast, especially, this is cool that you and I get a chance to do it,
Yeah.
is you can relax. I mean, you don't have to. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, something clicked on
Something
the phone. I
beeped.
wasn't sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were still connected. Anyways, yeah, it's kind of nice because you can just relax. At home, you've got your space, and then you can just relax and just do it. It's not like you're trying to film in a garage. Like it's. I notice when I do my videos in the garage, it's a little more intense. Like sitting here doing a podcast is pretty
But yeah, something I think
bad.
that we should really go over that I think really made a difference in both of our businesses was incorporating a product line. So being able to sell customers a product line or different add-on products that really I find customers really like, not even just to like make money, because I mean you're not getting rich selling products and selling mats or whatever you're selling, giving the customers a reason to come back and an easy source or an outlet to get good quality products that they're really not getting in a big box store.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's why I always push for people to work together because like with you it's kind of cool because like not so much right now like yeah you've got your mats going on for the floor mats and I've
Yeah.
got the mattress line going but it's so nice because we don't have to bring in everything on our own because
No.
if you bring in different products at your end and I bring in different products at my end it makes it a lot easier for both of us because we don't have to have a giant stock of everything.
Yeah, and like the car mats are nice because I don't house any of them. So I just once the customer
Yeah.
wants it, you put the order in, then they show up. And it's just a
Yeah.
lot of customers like it because if they're coming, like for example, if they have a brand new car, and this was something where I really thought about it, was when I'm detailing a car, I want to make sure that you can cover as much basis for them as you're going to. As they
Yeah.
need. Because like the first thing I think about is the customer that comes for the ceramic coating brand new car, they're gonna think, okay, it's coated. Now what do I need? I need mats for the insides, and they look online. Versus if you can save them time, where you say, okay, you get your car done. Oh, you want mats? I'll make sure the mats are here when you bring it for your appointment. Well, and you save them time. That's just it saves them time, and they don't have to even look at it. They know that you're just going to stand behind them and they have one point of contact. So if something did happen to the coating, something did happen to the mat, something they didn't like a product or
Yeah.
something didn't work, they contact one person. It's just it gives the people more reasons to call you, and they're gonna get
Right.
comfortable with you because they're dealing just with one person local.
It's one thing for us to, to hook up online and stuff like that. We reach out to groups, we do stuff like that, but it's so nice when two local guys get together. That's what I push everybody, you know, partner up with somebody, and it's a lot easier,
Hmm.
because that way they're like, if I run into stuff, and I have, and I mean, I taught you, as you progress in detailing, things change.
For sure.
So there may be something new that's come along that you've dealt with that I haven't yet,
Hmm.
you know.
And
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 I've
it
been
all
up at back
depends.
32 years. So,
Yeah, and it
you
all
know,
depends on what products you're using. So, for example, if I'm using Optimum No Rinse and you're not, we're going to experience two
yeah,
different things. So, like next year, if you think, oh, I want to use Optimum No Rinse, I've already been using it for a year. So, you're going to say, oh, like, what do I have to look for? What do I have to get? And it's just, yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of just learn as you go. And, but yeah, it's, helping other detailers, I think, is a big thing. 'Cause, I mean, it's one thing where it's
yeah,
like people are surprised when I like if they ask for a quote for ceramic, I tell them call other shops. Like get those
yeah,
quotes, find out because the main thing, like the first thing I tell them is if our personalities don't mesh, don't waste your time. Like whenever you deal with me every year, I want you to be excited that you're dropping your car off with Andrew at Excelsior.
yeah. This is our pilot podcast, so we're both learning. We're using a new stereo app for anybody out there that's watching. Wonder how much phone we're in the middle of a podcast, but the stereo is a telephone, so that we can talk back and forth and have a podcast. So it's pretty cool, with COVID and everything. It just changes things up a little bit. Yeah, running a detailing shop is it's a lot different than any other kind of a business, because you're always go, like, you never know how busy you're going to be or how quiet it's going to be, and you never know what you're going to run into. It's not like if all we did was buy and sell product, it would be different, because
Hmm.
the product. It's not that difficult. Person comes in, you sell them the product, you collect the money, you're done. But with
Yep.
us, it's a lot different, because they bring us that vehicle, and we have, like, other than the phone conversation we have with the customer, we have no idea what's coming through that door when it gets here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's I think you can manipulate that. Like a few things that I kind of built on just because I'm pretty type A is all my customers for the most part send me pictures before it comes into the door. So at least you have a rough idea of what
Yeah,
I mean, they might be hiding something in a picture, but you have a rough idea of what the quality of the car is and what to be mentally prepared for. Like a second thing that really makes a difference is going to be like a system like you're able or some type of system where it does all your booking for you and you have all your information in one area. So like I use your able to detailing software app. And for example, it's just the little things that save me time. Like um, they can book online if they want. I don't have it set up for my business, but you can. It auto texts them the day before to say your appointment's tomorrow at this time to remind them. It also has like the few things that I really like about it. It also has long-term reminders. Like let's say every year you want someone to get an email or a text after a service to say blah
yeah,
blah blah blah. It's been a year. Come back, get your car detailed again. It's going to text them in a year after the service is completed, or you can set however long you want for whatever service. And it's just it
yeah,
makes it self-sufficient. Like I don't in a year I'm not going to think about contacting that customer again to come back. But you get all the people you've dealt with before that are already happy to come back. Those are the ones you want to come back. And you don't always want to be chasing new customers.
Yeah. I know you can't see what's going on over here. Alec came in and gave us some tech support.
No, he can see that.
So
Everybody can see that now.
they can hear it.
Yeah, but everybody can see it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so he adjusted it, so now people know what we're doing on our podcast.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah, yeah. Now it would let me change it. It wouldn't let me change it before. But okay.
Have you noticed a little bit of a decline for the winter time? Because I noticed it got a
Oh,
little quieter. But
oh yeah. It got a little quieter. I mean, like in terms of, I'm running about like let's say 50% ish from like peak time. But I mean, you're always gonna have a dead time. Every business has dead times. It's not
well,
like I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Well, for anybody that doesn't know, in the LaSalle Tecumseh area, which is close to Windsor and across Detroit. So we're southern Canada, but yeah, we do get a winter here. And right now, this area is under lockdown. So for us to still be working, even during a lockdown, that's, it says a lot because if you're not top of your game, you're not going to be working right now.
Yeah, and another thing is I think we're very fortunate to be able to work. There's a lot of people that can't, that own
Yeah,
gyms or that
yeah.
they really haven't, or restaurants or that are really hit hard. We're very fortunate that we have the ability to keep going.
Well, it wasn't cheap for either one of us because we had to make adjustments so we could keep working.
Yeah.
You know,
But I mean, it's one of those
I don't know
things
about you,
where,
but yeah,
yeah, it's one of those things where it's something that we just had to adapt, and it's a way of business, and
yeah,
that's just what it is. I mean, no matter what happens, you're always going to be adapting. And really, most of the
yeah.
stuff is stuff we should have already had anyway. It's just showing us a different
Well,
way of
yeah,
business, I think.
yeah. Yeah. For the most part, the thing is, like, for a lot of guys that don't know me, I started a part-time gig for me for a long, long time, and Andrew's actually the one that led me to water because when I realized how well he was doing, and I lost my full-time job because of COVID, and I was on layoff. You know, uh, Andrew inspired me to get full time, so that's what I did. I tried, and then when they eventually did call me back to work, I was in a position where I just said, I'm not going back. Like once you get into this full time, it's very hard to go back. You know, and I'm sure you found that too, eh?
Yeah, it's like I started full time because I got laid off, and I kind of just jumped into it with 2 feet. But I mean, like I was with you for a year, and I had like a business
Yeah,
coach after that. So I mean, it wasn't like I didn't know what I was doing. I had a bucket, and I had all the stuff already. So really, it was a quick transition for me to hop into it. But yeah, I got to the point
yeah,
where I think I got laid off in March-ish, around there, March or April, around there. And then they called me back, I think in July, and I had 2 weeks or 3 weeks booked ahead. I said I can't come back. Like there's no way I can come
yeah,
back. It's not even money wise. Yeah, I make more money doing this, but it's still like I can't. Like I'm booked too much, and that's in the middle of a pandemic. So I'm really excited to see this year and even the year after that to see how busy. I mean, in my first year, if I'm
yeah.
booked 3 weeks out in the middle of a pandemic, I mean,
Yeah.
we're very
Yeah,
fortunate.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what? Right now, like, you know, like for us, we're very fortunate because the type of business that we have, like you said, we can work. And yeah, I'm not afraid of what's coming next because you know what? I mean, we got this far and my shop was closed until August 1st, and then we reopened and it was steady. I mean, the detailing season was almost at the end and we were just flooded with cars. And I mean, you were busy too.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
had a
we
couple of
stayed
good
steady.
months there. August, September, and November. Awesome weather. I couldn't believe how warm it was.
Yeah, we were very fortunate with the amount of people that we were able to service, no matter what was going on, other than business wise. Like in terms of the pandemic, really, I don't feel it really
Yeah.
affected us, to be honest. There are some things, but I mean,
Yeah,
business-wise, like customer-wise, I don't really think we might have seen a bit of decline, but it wasn't crazy for us.
Andrew and I both started the Detailers Guild site together. That's one thing that we did, while we were, you know, uh, teaching each other.
Yeah,
We did that with Carlos. We started out with Carlos Serrano from Serrano Mobile Detailing, and it worked out fantastic because, like, you and I both have, 2,200 contacts,
yeah,
that we can
we're
reach out to and get
yeah,
information from, and it's global too. Like, it's really cool because uh, when I first started this, see, Andrew, like 32 years ago, there was no internet. Like, and I was terrified because when I started that business, I had nobody to turn to. I had nobody to show me anything. And, I couldn't just click on somebody and ask them a question. And now it's so much easier. That's why I realized, like, after I opened full time August 1st, and we had, the detailing group, and we were both, hitting the YouTube, learning different stuff. I realized, man, this is a lot easier than the first time I did it. So this is too good to give up. You wake up in the morning, you have your coffee, you walk down the stairs, and I open the door to the garage, and I'm at work.
yeah.
I mean, and
It's
in your
I
case
find it's
too,
a
you're
calming thing. Like,
cool.
you don't have um much stress. Like, you walk into the garage and it's like I'm relaxed. There's no
Like, I don't know how it works at your end, but I don't even see my customers because all I do is I get a text. It tells me the car's dropped off. I go to the drop box. There's a set of keys in there. Pull the car in
yeah,
the garage. Put it outside. Then I sanitize the keys, drop them in a Ziploc bag, put them in the cup holder, text the customer back, and watch it under the surveillance camera until they come get it. There is no stress. I mean, I don't have to deal with coworkers. I don't have to deal with anything. Like, it's so nice. I can work every day by myself if I want. A lot of times my son will come and, work with me, but him and I get along great. When it comes to detailing, our heads in the same space. So, it works out well. But yeah, it's so nice because when you work in a place like where I was working before, and I'm going to be honest, 90% of the people I worked with at my other job were fantastic. I
yeah,
mean, but you get the odd character that just wants to be a pain in the ass, or just, they're so abrasive that you can't get along with them.
yeah,
I don't miss them at all. And and to be here, and it's kind of cool because this is the one job where you can finish at 4 in the afternoon, and if nothing booked, you can go jump in the pool, pour yourself a drink, and call it a day.
yeah,
Like, you can't do it without getting fired.
yeah,
You just walk off the job at 4 o'clock and say, "Hey, man, I'm done." You know,
yeah.
that's the
So
people don't understand it. They're like, "You're still washing cars," and I'm like, "Man, I'm living the dream." You know.
yeah, this is what I want to do. Yeah,
Oh yeah, this is fun, man. Because that's the thing. I mean, when I first started cleaning cars, I had a show car, and I did everything to the car.
hmm,
And as years went by, the only thing that's changed is it's gotten a lot easier for me to clean because there's better
yeah,
chemicals now, better tools.
yeah,
You know, like back in the day, all we had, man, was a shop vac, a bucket of soapy water, and wash mitts, brushes. Like, they had some stuff, but they
yeah.
didn't even have a third of what's out there today. You know.
Yes. So a good question, speaking on that, 'cause you're talking about improvement, would be where
Yeah.
do you see your business improving the next bit? Like, what parts do you see changing, or what do you think you're going to take on, or what do you see yourself improving the business in the next, let's say, 5 years? That's a good example. It's a good time frame.
The next 5 years. Probably the coatings, like my and I'm not like I love doing both. I'll do sealant and wax and coatings, like, and I promote that too. Anybody that's out there that's only doing one or the other should really open their eyes and open their mind a little bit, because you know what, there's money to be made. And if you're not sure how, and you're listening to this podcast, you can reach out to Andrew and I through the Detailers Guild. That's the fastest way to find us. And or you can go to extremecarcleaning.com. Not to plug myself, but you can go there too and hit me up.
And you know what? If you guys are not sure, which way to turn, or you need some advice, by all means, reach out to either one of us and we'll help you. But yeah, I see that, like, in the next year, I see a lot coming. I mean, like right now, my foot's nailed to the floor because of COVID. I can't leave the house. Once I get vaccinated, though, like, aside from what we're doing in the shop, I'm going to promote the business in other ways. Like, I want to get out. I want to get to Texas. I want to get to Vegas. I want to get to LA. I want to do these things and meet with other detailers and hang out in detail and build up the YouTube channel and do different things. But I'm limited to what I can do right now because of COVID.
Yeah, and then that's why I kind of set a 5-year mark, because hopefully COVID's going to be dwindling down, hopefully gone in 5 years.
Well,
So that would be good examples. Like for me, I kind of want to, I think, expand, I would say, in 5 years, like maybe have a shop or like wherever that goes, have employees, have the full thing. And just try it and see where that goes. But coatings are a big thing for me. What I really want is to have a shop that does it all. PPF, even if I don't do it, but PPF, tint, like anything that, like a detail shop. Because I mean, in our area, we really only have, I would say, one shop, and they're not doing PPF. So I mean, but like one actual performance shop, and the quality is not there. So like a shop that's based on quality that really will make a difference, and not more so like quick type things. And
yeah, see, I always wanted to have my own shop, and I had one back in the 90s. And it's fantastic to have your own shop. Don't take this advice to heart, but the thing is with with all the expenses that go along with it and the bookkeeping, but you're in a better position than I was, because at least, I know a lot of people now. And so when you start, you know me, and you know a lot of people, so it's going to be a lot easier for you to start the right way and get everything rolling in the right direction. But when you first start, like when I started, man, I borrowed $500 off my visa to pay my first month's rent. I mean, that was the amount of financial wizardry I had at my disposal. So, I learned a lot since then. But yeah, that's a great goal to have, because if I was in that position, like right now, I'm 52 years old. I mean, I can't roll back the hands of time and, in my 20s again and do it all over. But I'll help you, because I'd love to live through you and help you get to where you want to be. Those days are in the rearview mirror for me. But I can still do some cool stuff in my old age, but I can't take on that kind of stress anymore. But that's the thing, like, for you to do it, it's different, because like I've got 30 years experience, and I got a lot of contacts. I got family members that are able to help you as far as the books go and stuff like that, getting set up. But when it comes time, man, and you want to make a go of it, I'm right there helping you, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, and that really speaks to the point of, if you're starting in detailing, don't feel like you're alone. Like, I mean, even if no one in your area really wants to help you, there's tons of people online where, like, you could go into any different group, find a guy who owns a shop, and ask him whatever questions you want, and I would say there's a 90% chance he's going to answer them all for you.
Yeah.
Most detailers are pretty good. They're not really, especially if you're far away, because most detailers don't look at you as competition. They shouldn't, even locally, but some people might have that mindset where you're competition, I want to help you type thing. But if you're like in different countries, which easily can happen, like if you're in the States, find someone in Canada or different states, or you're not even close to their competition if they're worried about that. So they're gonna be able to give you an honest opinion of where you want to go, who you want to talk to, efficiency, different things like that.
Yeah, most of the detailers I've run into, know within 5 minutes whether we're going to get along or not. So, you know,
Yeah.
like most of them, you know, they're very easy to get along with. Like one friend of mine, Chuck, he comes here, he does window tint,
Mm-hmm.
and he used to do the whole shebang, eh? And then he got into tinting.
And he worked in Windsor a long, long time ago for a tint company, and now he does it on the side. But yeah, that's the thing. Like I rent out the bay, and he does it. Eh? So that's another route you could go to, like later on when you open up your business, because a lot of these guys, you know, if you're doing the detail, especially if you're doing a ceramic and it's going to sit there. I mean, if it's sitting there overnight, I mean, you got the vehicle there overnight. To tint the windows on, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, they could tint it while it's sitting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. For sure.
what we do too. Like we'll do our prep on the car. Chuck will come in and tint the windows, and then if it's got a coating on it, we'll do it the next morning.
Yeah.
You know, we'll do our
Yeah.
final
However,
prep on it, wash it down with it, give it the alcohol bath,
And then we'll put the coating on in the morning, and then it's good to go by the afternoon.
yeah, and it all depends. Yeah, what works for your workflow, and that's important too. 'Cause
yeah.
I would think every detailer has a different workflow or what they like to do or different processes that, or routines. That's a big one too. What routines work the best for you?
Yeah, the one thing I noticed is when we made the because you and I both talked about this. The biggest thing I noticed was when we made
You know, the change and went over to full-time detailing from just a part-time gig. It's amazing because when you become more stabilized, the customers just respond. They just flow in like mad. Like now that I'm open 7 days a week, you know, like I've had days where I've made $1,000 in a day, you know, and you know, I was stunned. Like, I mean, I've never seen that before. Like before ceramic coating, you know, if I did, and this is back at my old shop, we had 1,000 customers. We were doing car washes and interiors and stuff all day. A good day there, Andrew, and keep in mind, that the prices were different, but a fantastic day there was $750. I mean, and that's about all you could shoot for. You know, you weren't going to do more than that. Because we didn't have the equipment back then. We didn't have the Tornado guns, and we didn't have the DA polishers. We didn't have all that stuff. So the only person that could polish in that shop was myself. I wouldn't dare let anybody touch a polisher back then, because you know, you give them a rotary polisher like a DeWalt, and unless you're teaching them from the ground up how to use that machine, and you got all the time in the world to teach them, you know, that's a dangerous move to hand somebody a rotary polisher like that and just say, yeah, go polish that car. You know, because it's, you know, a couple paint jobs later, you'll realize it wasn't a good idea. What was one of the toughest details you can remember? Like mine personally, I'll line this up for you. Mine, we nicknamed it the van from hell. Honest to God, the dogs licked the seats, and it was a light colored interior. They licked the seats in this minivan until they turned black. And it was one of those old GMC, like it was before the Pontiac Transport. It was the generation before that, like the squarish looking one. Yeah. What a disaster, man. Like, and dog hair. And oh man, like we never had all the stuff that we have today. I mean, I don't know how that vehicle was there for 2.5 days being cleaned. It was that disgusting. And, you know, the first thing out of my mouth was I went and looked at the car. And keep this in mind, it was a long time ago, okay, so the money is different. I told the customer $300, right, because I didn't want to do this car. And I wanted to politely tell him to get lost. Like, I really didn't want to do this car. Because I was heaving just smelling it. It was that bad. It smelled like a wet dog that had been puked on. So anyway, there was gummy bears and there was everything just stomped in the floor. And I'm like, there's no way in hell I could clean this thing. But I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of the customer. So I said, oh, I can't do this for under $300. He said, no problem. And I'm like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. Like, man, that was the roughest car I ever did, man. I was so sore. And back then I was, I was probably 27 years old. Yeah. And when I finished that car, I had to go to the chiropractor. I wouldn't even let that thing in my shop today, man. I would embarrass myself and just tell him straight up, look, that's beyond what I could do. You know what I'm saying? Like, man.
Like, the worst car that actually made it into the garage, I would say, yeah, it's probably, I think I had 2 in a week, like right when I first started, and it's almost like a higher force was trying to say, are you actually meant to do this or not? Because I got 2 vans, I would say, it's either within a week of each, I think it was within a week of each other, where it's like taken me forever. There's dog hair all over it. One was 12 years old, never been cleaned before, so there was like coffee spilled all over the place, gummy bears, McDonald's fries, everything that you could think, anything, dirt into the carpet. The actual interior, like the plastics are supposed to be like that tannish color. They were dark brown. Like you'd use steam and the freaking color of the plastic would change how much dirt was on it, and it just smelled like there was milkshake was spilled into like the stow and go compartments. Dog food was like it was just a mess. And then so I got rid of that one.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I was just going to say that's why like I get customers asking me all the time, why did you ask me what kind of vehicle it is? Because I think they're worried on their end that, they're going to say Mercedes or BMW, I'm going to charge them more. And that's not the case, man. It's if that thing is a car, I don't care what it is. It could be a Rolls Royce. I don't care. It's one price. But if it's an SUV or a minivan, there's no way in hell I'm doing that for the price of a car because, it's going to be a disaster. I can just see it, through the phone.
Yeah, and now that being said, I've also had people that own vans where they're clean. I mean, it all depends, like, especially with the newer ones, and most of them are leather seats, they're a lot easier to clean versus ones with fabric. And I have had some that were decent, like that were normal, I would say, that it was just like you're just cleaning it, you're not really getting stuff out, you're not doing above and beyond. But yeah, I had like 2 of those in a week. I had 2 of those. And then after that, you really learn what you should be charging. Because that was really an eye opener. And I didn't underquote them, but like I for example, I have people that would ask for a quote for a car with garbage up to the windows or like so much dirt, and you say, okay, that's going to be whatever, $600, $700. And they go, what do you mean?
You said about the garbage. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned the garbage and I told you this, and I'm putting this out there for everybody else. Tell the customer to empty that vehicle before you get it, because anything gets broken in that vehicle or anything gets damaged because you spray it with, the tornado gun or the steamer, it's on you. Like, tell them to empty the thing. Like, we're not their mother, and we charge, like at this shop, we charge $50 an hour. If we got to unload and load a vehicle, we charge $300 for this one vehicle from a roofing company. Just to unload it and load it. I'm not kidding. It was loaded right to the rafters. So I had to unload all the equipment. I billed them for it, and they were ticked right off. But you know what? I told them to empty the vehicle. They brought it here, and I told them you're going to be charged by the hour. So I billed them.
And that was the last time, because after that the vehicles came in here empty.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I would put like a star on that. Like, I mean, it all depends. Like, if the customer, like, I've had customers, well, whatever, they forget their kids' seats from the back, or they forget they have a bag in the back of their trunk. That's different. But it's when you have actual garbage that's filled. It's different when if I'm literally taking a garbage bag to everything inside the car, you're gonna pay by the hour. But I mean, I don't know. I look at it as like sometimes people forget, and yeah, I tell them, but sometimes they just forget. If now, like what I do tell them is if there's stuff in the compartments, like the center console, the glove box, I'm not cleaning it. Nothing's moving. It's not. So then And what that really protects you from is if they lose something or damage is another thing, or they say
Exactly.
they lost, you don't. It's not an option.
Yeah.
It didn't get cleaned.
But when I had my
you don't really run into those issues when you say that.
but now like there's so many electronics and stuff out here, it's really expensive. You know, especially they go,
it's anything in a car.
oh yeah, they'll say, oh, you took my phone or you this, you that. No, you know what? I didn't, you know, and there's a lot of expensive stuff out there. In my day, like when we were doing the cars, we would get CDs would snap under the seat, cassette tapes would get sucked up in the vacuum cleaner, and I mean that's $10 or $20. It's not a big deal, but somebody's AirPods go up the vacuum cleaner, or somebody's phone goes missing because they left it at their buddy's house and thought they left it in the car. That's a big pain, pain in the arse for us, eh? Like, you know what I mean? You don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, and it's part of the things where I would say you just set the customer's expectations on how you do your service. And it's one of those things where if you feel that you're not a fit on the phone, don't proceed. Because I mean, I've done it too, where you just know like your personalities clash a little bit, and it doesn't like they might do a good job, but it might just be it just feels like more work versus you have a customer that they're normal. They drop it off. They're excited. Their car gets done. They're happy. It's a lot easier of a transfer versus someone that your personalities just don't mesh, and you want to make sure that you want to limit that. I mean, a few might slip through, I would say, but most of the time, like when a customer gets me on the phone or even with texting, you can feel it. If your personalities just don't mesh, then kind of just go that way and just say like, I don't know if this is gonna work and most of the time they pick up on. I never have to say that like our personalities don't match. Usually I send the quote, I'll talk to them. If I know it's not gonna work, then it's not gonna work. And then most time they'll pick someone else. And it's not I don't take offense to that because it's important. You want customers that they mesh with you and they're excited to get their car done by you.
Yeah, like I find a lot of my customers, they're very loyal. They know me. And it's easy now, but I've been doing this a long time. I mean, after 30 years, and even when I get referrals, the people they're referring to come here are nice. They're easygoing. They know how the service works. I get the odd person that'll find me on the website just out of the blue, and I know it's somebody new the minute they're asking me if I can do it any cheaper. Like, then I know, you know what I mean? That's a red flag. Whenever I hear that, I'm thinking, yeah, I can do it cheaper, but do you want me to do a nice job or do you want me, to do it cheaper? Like, what do you want? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
I mean,
it makes yeah, exactly, and that's where you get the people that they're not really meant to be your customers.
yeah.
I've sent customers, I've told them too, like I've had a customer on the phone and they're talking to me about, well, so-and-so will do it for this. And I tell them, I say, listen, I said, there's 30 detailers in Essex County. I said, you don't have to pick me. And I'm not trying to be rude. I said, but I have a lot of customers that are waiting to come in here and get their car done. So it's up to you. Like, if you want to get it done here, that's fine. If you want to go somewhere else and get it done, that's fine too, because it depends on how deep you want this thing detailed. I mean, if you want a light detail done, then yeah, there's a lot of places in town that do that. But I don't do it. Like when I do an interior, it's either all or nothing unless I'm doing a spot clean. That's the only time I'll do it.
Yeah, and like that's where I think our business has changed. Like there's a few things where I don't do that you do, and I think that really benefits us both because if a customer wants a certain thing that I don't carry or I don't do, I don't do just hand wash. It doesn't make sense for my business to do that. So it's easy for me to send them to you and say, okay, it's this amount, blah, 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 and then you take care of it. But you got to know like what you want to do and the type of customers you want to attract. And like I find it's not really like a personality thing. It's more so of this isn't what I do. Like I tell people on the phone, I'm very particular. So that's why my prices are this. This is how long it takes, and this is what gets done. It's not really, oh, I don't do like a quick vacuum, put leather conditioner and everything. They'll clean the seats and it's done. That's not what I do. So once
Yeah.
you tell people that, I'm like, this is like a deep clean. I usually say it's high value, like premium type service that you're
Yeah.
not going to really get anywhere else. Once you tell people that, you'll either make the customer like, this is the guy I want to do, or this isn't what I'm really looking for, maybe a different time. And then that's how
Well,
that usually goes.
that's the thing, like with there being so many different detailers, there's so many different, styles out there and personalities and everything else. It's easy for a customer to find a fit for them now. It's not like, we're the only guys in town and either have to go to me or you. I mean, they've got their choice of 30 different people. So if they leave here, they go somewhere else. I mean, you and I both have had customers that have dealt with other people that weren't happy and came to us,
Yeah.
you know? So, I mean, and then that's the thing too. Like I tell people all the time, and some people, they worry about the competition stuff. And I said, are you realistic? I said, there's 300,000 vehicles in our area alone. There's 30 detailers here. And you know what? You're a phenomenal detailer. And, I'm not throwing this on you, but you and I cannot do 10,000 cars a year by ourselves.
No.
So how do these guys get that? How do they get to that point where they're saying, oh, you're taking away my cars? No. If we all do the cars at the same quality level, it just means we're all going to have more customers. The reason there's less is because people are nervous because of the quality of some of the shops that are out there. They're not doing it at the level they should be and calling themselves a detail shop. Like, it's one thing if you're a car wash, and I'm not trying to bash the car wash, but if you're a car wash, it's a different mindset. It's like fast food and a steakhouse. There's a big
Well,
difference.
and they're a different business. Like I wouldn't even
Hmm.
compare it to what like I would say hardcore detailers do. That's another
Hmm.
thing you'll see in a lot of different Facebook groups. How does this guy stealing my business, or how does he stay open when it's lower value details? Like let's say for example you're
Hmm.
charging 200, the guy's charging 60. Well, what people don't
Yeah.
understand is your customers aren't going to go to him. they're
Oh
not
yeah.
they're not in that mindset. They can, but you're
Hmm.
not losing the customers that are going there. They just want the cheapest deal, or they just want something done quick. They don't want you're not losing customers to that person. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that person. A lot of people get very
Yeah.
upset. Oh, they're doing it cheap, whatever. However they want to run their business. Like how I always say is, we're all making the same money at the end of the day. He's doing 6 cars,
Hmm.
I'm doing one. And nothing's wrong with that. It's just a lot of people, I think, spend a lot of time focusing on the cheapest guy in the town is getting all the business, and really that's the only way he's keeping his lights on is the amount of cars he's
Yeah.
doing because prices are like that.
Yeah.
But you're not
Well, the
losing
cheapest guy in
customers.
town is doing it for free. He's not making anything.
Yeah, but you're not losing your customers to that. You're going to be
No.
doing different levels of service. And most customers know that. And if they don't, they're going to learn that.
Oh yeah. Like when somebody says to me, "Oh, I can get my car detailed," at so and so shop, I tell them, I say, "Listen, there's no way they're putting a coating on it for that price because the coating itself costs that much money. So
Yeah.
the guy's not putting it on there for free. So it's not the same thing." And that's another issue that I found. Like, that's one thing that makes me mad is because there's so many different ceramic products that are out there. There's some people that are out there putting on something and claiming that it's something else. Like, they'll put on a spray coating or whatever, and they're charging people the price of a ceramic coating. And like,
Yeah.
you and I would never do that because both of us have morals, and I taught you better than that. And I know because I've seen your customers' vehicles. I mean, they're done properly. But
Well,
man, like that's
that's a very short term play. 'Cause, I mean, that's only going to last as
yeah,
long as that coating. So, I mean, like, it really depends. If that shop really only wants to last for a year and they don't have morals, and everyone in business
yeah,
does things differently, right or wrong. I mean, you can
yeah,
talk about that till the end of the moon. But at the same
yeah,
point, when a customer looks into, at what I tell people when they quote ceramic with me is I tell them 5 questions to ask my competition. and I go right into it. And the reason why
Mhm.
is, number one, even if you don't get that job, they're going to come to you for detailing after. Because the second you spend 20 minutes with them on the phone talking about these are the questions, blah, 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 maintenance, this, and this, and giving them ways to show that if the shop won't answer all these, this is why. This is like, I want to make sure you have a good product on your vehicle so that when I do see you in a few years for detailing products, mats, whatever, that you're happy with it. It doesn't matter if I do it or not. I could care less. I mean, yes, I'd like to have you as a customer, but my main goal here is that your car's done right. And
Yeah.
I think the second you come at it with education versus you making money, you're going to get that job. And if you don't, you're going to have a customer for life. Even if, like, let's say they like someone else better for the ceramic, or they want a certain product, or like a good example was I talked to a guy who had a big truck, wanted PPF done. I don't do PPF. So like instantly, but
Yeah.
when he said that, I know I'm going to lose this quote because he's going to want a shop that can do everything. So you got the
Yeah.
PPF done. I checked in on him about a week later, and he said, "Well, I still want to buy products from you. You spent all that time. You were able to find me a shop that was able to do it for me." And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "Well, that's it. Then you won." Whenever you come at your business, like, I mean, every week I do a video, like a quick tip that customers don't know. So, like, for example, what car washes to go to, how to
Yeah.
get dog hair out of a car, like just small things, what snow brushes to use, small things that
Oh, yeah.
you can easily go, like detailers know, customers don't. You just think, like, what's the stuff you see in your shop all the time where you look at it and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they did this. And why did they do it? They didn't know. So the second you put it on YouTube or on, I just do it usually on Instagram, Facebook, and some I'll throw on YouTube if I remember. But the amount of people that come to me just because, oh, you're the guy that makes all the videos, you educate me. They look at it as you're spending time,
Yeah.
like your valued time, to educate them, and people really do like that. And then it tends to resonate in their head. So the second they hear detail, they hear
Mhm.
the guy who gave free information to them.
You know, have you had your Hollywood moment yet, where
No, not
somebody
yet.
recognized you outside your shop? Oh, it happened. It happened to me at my old work.
That's
I
funny.
was walking through the I was walking through the service area, and the customer says, "Hey," he goes, "I know you. I watch your videos," and I'm like, "Seriously?" And this is back when I was only doing like videos for my customers, like, to show them the shop and stuff like that. This guy must have, just happened to check out my site or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, like when somebody recognizes you that you don't know, it's kind of like it makes you feel good, but then it's kind of creepy at the same time because you realize how many people see this. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and that's another point is I find my customers before they even know me are comfortable with me. Like I have customers
Yeah.
walking in, hey buddy, how are you? Because they know my mannerisms through videos. Like they'll see how I act,
Yeah.
or they know it's like we're best friends. I've had tons of customers. Like I used like the first one, like this is weird. Like this guy's just really nice to me. And someone told me like because they watch your videos, they know what you're like. So like to them, they see
Yeah.
you every Wednesday. I'm like, well, that's true. I don't think about that, but it makes them very
Yeah.
comfortable. It makes them very comfortable with you, and like you're their friend before they even do business
Yeah.
with you. That's a good
Yeah,
spot to be in.
I honestly think that, like, you hear bad mouthing about social media and YouTube and stuff like that, but you know what? For us, for detailing, it's a fantastic tool.
Yeah,
I mean, if you use it in the right way, it's a fantastic tool. I mean, I've met people face to face and got them as customers, and I've met people over the internet, and you know what? It's the same rapport with both. I mean, you're
yeah.
right. Like if they find you through the internet, they see your videos and stuff like that, and they pretty much size you up. And it's funny, like when I meet detailers and I've seen their video and stuff like that, they're pretty much the same thing. Like when I meet them in person, they're pretty much what you see is what you get. And they say don't judge a book by its cover, but I don't think detailers are good at faking it on the internet. You know what I mean?
No, and there might be some, but I mean, we really don't have like
Yeah.
it's different if they're selling products or something. Like if they have a sales, but for the most part, if it's business to business, especially if they're just giving you free information, they really don't have like they're not selling you anything in that moment. They might sell you on a package after because you're comfortable with them, but they're not really
Yeah.
like there's no real sales pitch there.
Well, what's funny is when I went to SEMA, right, and I met Darren Priest and I met Jimbo and I met Luke, they're exactly the same thing as the video. I mean, there's no difference. I knew exactly the responses I would get from Darren when I went to talk to him. You know what I mean? So, and I was comfortable because like when you know the person, you know, through their videos and stuff, and you know what they're like, you know, it's almost like you know what buttons to push, eh? And you know what buttons not to push. Like, you know what they're like, and you can pretty much
Exactly.
size them up. But yeah, I think for us, it's a handy tool because there's some guys out there that I would not hang out with, and then there's some guys, you know, like Carlos and Landon. I would love to go out for a beer with them. Eh? I mean, you know, they're great, you know, and we've had a like. I haven't met them yet personally, but I mean, we've had a lot of contact through Messenger and Facebook and everything else, eh? And yeah, they're pretty much genuine, eh? Like when they're doing their YouTube videos and stuff, what you see is what you get, and I think the customers find that with us too. You know,
Yeah,
that when they
it
come
goes
here, they
back
know
to the
what they're going to
point
get.
where it gets you, I would say, gets you more business the more that you do online. Like, even if you have videos of you talking about your products, or
Yeah,
like I did an About Me video that a lot of customers liked, or different stuff like that, because when they're quoting, they're going to look at different websites, different Facebook pages. Who do you think they're going to pick? The guy with 12 or whatever, 30 videos that they can click on all 30 and watch them all and see what this person's like and see the type of mindset they have versus the person that doesn't have a social media altogether.
yeah,
And like, price is one thing. That might be something that sways certain customers one way or the other. But what it's going to really do is I think it increases your value. The more social media you do, more cards you post, um, it gives people a good perspective. Like, I've gotten ceramic um, people getting jobs, like just people coming up because they've seen my videos. Like, I had a guy
oh
call
yeah,
the other day that he's getting a new vehicle, and he goes, yeah, I want a quote from my van to get done. He's buying, I think, a new Pacifica, I think is what he said. And I want to get this quoted, blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, how'd you hear about me? Oh, I love your videos. I'm like, oh, you watch them? Oh, yeah, they're great every
yeah,
Wednesday. I'm like,
oh yeah.
like, it's just little
Well,
things
yeah,
like that where, yeah,
this last year has been nuts. They like before, and I'm going to put it out there because a lot of guys they think, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to get monetized in 5 minutes. It doesn't happen like that. Like I mean, when I first started my YouTube channel, honest to God, it was just for my customers, so I could explain the packages and you know show a little bit of what I do, right?
yeah,
And you know, and it worked out okay. I mean, I had 35 people that subscribed to it, and you know, they would
it
watch the
did its
videos.
job.
And, yeah, I didn't even look at the hours because I was so far away from getting monetized that I'm like, you know what, it's not even in the ballpark. And just in the last 2 months alone, I started doing that podcast with Dell and started putting these podcasts out. I noticed this thing is ramping right up. Like I'm like, is that right? Like, you know, you look and I see like instead of having like 3 or 4 views on it, I've got like 200 in a day.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's going on? Like, you know what I mean? I didn't star in a movie or anything. Like, you know, you have these levels that you reach, eh? And it's nice now that I'm getting recognized and I'm making more friends and networking. It's fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it makes it a lot easier for both of us because the more people we both meet, like you've met people and brought them into my world, and it helps me a lot too because now, you know, in the spring I'm going to be working out a couple of deals with different people, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if you hadn't have reached out to them. So it's really cool. And that brings it all back to where we started, and I said it's so important for people to work together, you know, and
Yeah,
you and
because
I are prime examples of that.
well, everyone does things differently, so you're going to run in
Yeah.
different circles. Like, even if we're both in the same groups, we might, whatever,
Yeah.
see a post the other one didn't, or
Right.
whatever, or someone reached out to me and didn't reach out to you, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And it just makes us all better, the more people you know. It's like if you're friends with all 5 detailers in your area, it's a good thing, 'cause you're all going to be doing things differently, and that's not a bad thing.
But you know what's really cool is when my customers realize that I personally know these other people, like through YouTube and meeting them at Vegas and stuff like that. Like that speaks volumes because some of them have actually watched their videos.
Yeah,
So it's kind of cool because I mentioned this the other day with Landon and Carlos. I play their videos in my shop. I don't play my own videos because I don't
yeah,
want to see my face on the screen 24/7. Like, you know, it gets
hmm,
annoying after 5 minutes.
yeah,
But when I play somebody else's videos up there, they start checking them out. They're really cool, and they say, "Wow, this guy's really cool." And then I say, "Yeah, I know him from here or there or whatever." And then they realize that I'm doing the same service that they're seeing on the screen.
Yeah.
So it validates what I'm doing. When I
Yeah.
first started this, people would look at me sideways and say, "Why are you using that?" or "Why are you doing that?" or "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" Like, and I knew what I was doing. I mean, I'd been trained at 6 different dealerships back then. So I kind of knew my way around the products and whatever was available back then. We didn't have a lot of variety. It's funny, because they'll watch their videos in the background, and then when they see me doing the same thing, all of a sudden, they calm right down, and they realize, "Oh yeah, he knows what he's doing."
Yeah,
you know
he's doing it the same way. Yeah.
yeah, and I have one, like, I don't know if I told Carlos this or not. If he listens to this podcast, probably will. I had a customer go home and started watching Carlos, and then they're telling me about his videos and stuff, right? And it's fantastic. Like, Carlos got a subscriber out of it. That's great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the more the merrier. Like, and I tell my customers too. I said, yeah, check them out. Subscribe to their channel and check them out. Like, sometimes I'll have Greg Masterson up there, or Darren Priest, or I'll have Jimbo's videos up there. Like, it depends. Like, I try and change it up all the time because,
Yeah, so
like
it's
I
always
said, I don't
different.
want to watch the same thing every day. But it's interesting because if I watch different stuff that I haven't seen, and I put it up, I've had Larry Casilla's stuff up there. And then people are asking me about the product, and I pull it out of the cabinet and I show it to them, and like,
Yeah.
right away their eyes like pop
Light
open,
up.
and oh my God, and then all of a sudden the price that I'm charging them makes total sense,
Yeah.
like, or angel wax. I had some angel wax videos up there the one day. One of my customers came in and was asking me about it. And I said, yeah, I have the product right here. I'll show it to you. He says, you have it here? I said, yeah. So I took it down off the shelf and I handed it to him. I explained all the different products to him. He ended up dropping $1,500 in my shop.
Yeah.
I did a full, like, everything. And he wanted a full protection package from Angel Wax with the ceramic coating.
Yeah.
Like, man, and it took me 2 days to do it because I had to do the coating and it had to sit for 24 hours. And I had to do the interior too. So it was a 2-day process because of the curing time, eh? But man, that's a great feeling when you make that kind of money in one shot, and you're
It's
not
a
walking.
really great feeling. Yeah.
Oh man, when you're doing $10 car washes and you got to do 150 cars to make that kind of money, some guy walks in there and says, "Yeah, you want to put a coating on my car?" That's a world of difference,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the customer you want to take care of because they're going to come back and they value their investment.
If you guys are out there and you want to hear the raw format and you've seen it on YouTube, go to the stereo app on your phone, download it, and then you can check us out there. Anyways, it'll be listed under Dean's Den. Hop on there, check out the app, and check us out. And I want to thank my guest, Andrew St Pierre, for being on Dean's Den. And as always, Andrew, it's always a fun time when we get together. So.
Yeah, for sure. It was really fun. It was fun to discuss all the topics.
Well, we learned stuff too. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
we don't always get a chance to talk. We see each other at least once or twice a month.
Yeah. Yeah. To pick up product or whatever. Yeah.
If you're looking for any Masterson's product, I happen to be the distributor for Masterson's in Canada. So if you're looking for that product, you can either reach out to myself or Andrew. Andrew sells it in the LaSalle area, and I sell it in the Tecumseh area. So if you're looking for any Masterson car care products, you can reach out to either one of us. Anyways, thanks a lot, Andrew, for being on, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was cool, man. And you're my pilot podcast, so that's cool. We got to play with the software a little bit. It's a little rough in the beginning because we're trying to figure it out, but that seemed to work out. Yeah, I think it worked out good. So anyways, I'll cut all that and edit it, and we'll get it out there. So they get to hear the blooper reel, eh? If they want to go on here and download the app. Yeah, because I was going to do that at the beginning, but I was setting up the camera and getting this phone thing working, and that first time, it's kind of it's haphazard. At least now I'll be all set because tomorrow I have Alex on here from Florida.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
So yeah, I've got Alex on, and then Monday I've got Curtis Wesley on.
That's cool too.
And he's out of Washington, so it's kind of cool because you know what? detailing is not the same from city to city, and it's great to talk to these guys and get tricks and tips and learn what it's like to be where they're at, because it's a totally different
Beast.
totally different scenario, eh? Okay, Andrew, you take care, and I'll talk to you later, man.
Yep, I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.
All right, thanks a lot. Bye.